I'd recommend is that you maybe jot down if you want to ask me any questions or if there's anything that comes up as we're going through this. And then at the end, I will answer those questions, okay? So that we stay in the flow and we stay in the energy. But first of all, I'm going to do just a short grounding in to ground us into this energy and into this space. So I just want us to take a breath in, and on the out breath, surrender. Taking a breath in, and on this out breath, I want you to blow out any and all of other people's energies that could be in your field, consciously or unconsciously, throughout time, space, generations, multidimensionally, backwards and forwards. Letting it go. Taking another breath in, and on this out breath, you're just going to call all of your energy back, all of your soul's power back to you, through divine filter, and it's being transformed into pure divine love, light, truth, and wisdom. And I want to take another breath in, and on this out breath, you're just going to land into your heart space. This is where your soul resides. If you point to yourself, you point to your heart. And we're just going to make sure that you're in your heart center, in your own soul energy. And now we're going to ground into the heart of Mother Earth, just purely by intention, noticing how your heart is a magnetic field, and this magnetic field is now aligning with the heart of Mother Earth, and you are vibrating at the same energy as Mother Earth. This is very, very important, the grounding aspect, because money, clients, and opportunities go to that which is grounded and steady. This is a very important base to prosperity. And now we're going to call in pure absolute divine love of the highest consciousness, pouring down into your soul star, which is about 16 inches above your head, down into your crown, down into your mind. And actually, I'm going to ask that as this light comes into your mind, into your ego mind, that we're going to raise your mind into the frequency of your divine mind, where infinite possibilities lie. Down into your third eye and your eyes so you can see more clearly. Into your ears so you can hear the divine guidance. You can hear the whispers of the divine. Into your nose so you can sense the next step. Into your mouth so you can taste the beauty of life and all life has to offer. Down into your throat so you can speak your truth and be seen for who you really are. Down into your shoulders, releasing any aspect of limitation that no longer serves you. Cancel, clear, delete, story. Cancel, clear, delete, story. And you're just going to put it all up on a shelf for the moment. And if you want, you can take that back at the end of this class. But for now, you're releasing any aspect of limitation. Even through your ancestral lineage, you're going to release that back to divine source, down your arms, hands, and fingers so that you can receive your good. So important to receive. Down in to your heart, healing and repairing and purifying your heart. Into your solar plexus, claiming your power as a creator, as a creatrix. Down into your sacral, connecting in with your sacral, and your womb area, which is your wealth vault. Down into your hips, really feeling secure, knowing the divine truth that the divine always has your highest good in mind. Down your legs, into your feet, down into the floor, through the rocks and lava, and down into the heart of Mother Earth. Deep, deep down into the heart of Mother Earth. And now feeling this unity consciousness, this divine source and earth source coming together as one, and dancing up through the earth, into your feet, up through your legs, into your heart, moving around 360 degrees, into your energy, out through the crown of your head, into the room you're in, the home you're in, the street you're in, the country you're in, out through the whole wide world and out to the galaxies. And we're going to call in all of your guides. We're going to call in your guardian angel that is with you from the moment of your creation through all of your lifetimes. We're going to call in all the ascended masters, Divine Mother, Divine Father, Melchizedek, Metatron, Archangel Michael of the Light, the Arcturians, the Palladians, the Lyrians, the Syrians. And we're going to ask for them to really hold the energy here tonight for you to receive whatever it is you are meant to receive on this call. So I want to thank you all for taking the time here tonight. I'll introduce myself briefly, just to say that I'm Marcy O'Regan, and I have been working with energy and spirituality for probably all my life, but professionally about the last 20 years. And one of the reasons why I wanted to really do this masterclass is that one of the big aspects of my work, while I am an alchemist, a business alchemist, one of the big things that has been channeled through me is about the divine truth about money. And here I'm going to start off with a personal story. Now, some of you will have heard this story already. But those of you that haven't, I feel it's really, really important because times have changed. So the conditioning has been to focus on logic and reason and the mind, like to figuring it all out and seeing what's in front of you as being real. And I'm going to prove to you tonight through my story that whatever is happening in your life, and we're going to focus tonight about the money piece, then it's not real, it's an illusion. Right? So my story years ago was that I was living in Brussels, and myself and my husband, we weren't married at the time, but myself and Pierlan wanted to buy a house. And I specifically wanted a house that had 2 entrances. I wanted a typical Bruxelloise house, which is like 3 or 4 stories. And when we went looking at the idea that I wanted, my idea of what I wanted, because I wanted to have a home, but also I wanted to run part of the house to be dedicated for my business. And so when we started looking on the internet, they were a minimum 450,000 euros to buy. And the logic and reason was that we had 4,000 euros in our bank account between us. So I said, right, okay, but where there's a will, there's a way. We've all been told, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And we've got to be willing. That's one of the big things, to be willing. Are you willing to get out of your own way? Are you willing to actually rise above what you're seeing that's right in front of you? So I had the idea that I said, why don't we try an auction? And the thing about having an auction, though, is that you had to, if you got the price at the auction price, you had to come up with 15% of the amount that you would buy the house at. Anyway, I was at the time going to Ireland regularly teaching colour therapy. And each time that the auction was on, so there were actually 2 times there was an auction. The first auction, because it's in a very, very well located area, the house that I absolutely walked into and loved, I thought, this is the house for us. And our budget was 345,000 euros. So the first auction we couldn't go to, and it didn't go on the first auction. And the second auction, I was also on my way to Ireland. So my husband went, and he was at 5 o'clock in the morning saying, sign these papers so that I can have the authorization. And before that, we made an offer of 345,000 because that was our maximum, and they refused it. So I was on the flight and I said to my guides, I said, right, guides, angels, we will share this house with you, but you must give us this house at a price that we can easily afford. And we got that house for 326,000 euros. But the thing is that we had 5 days to come up with 50,000 euros, and we had 4,000 euros in the bank. So I got a loan from the credit union for 10k. Pierre got another loan in a French bank for 10k, but we were short the rest. So what did we do? We did the uncomfortable. We went around and we asked friends and family if they would borrow us the money temporarily, and we would give that back as soon as we could. And we were 1 day short of the having that money down. It was the Thursday. It had to be in by, all monies had to be in by the Friday at 5 p.m. and we were short 5,000 euros. So I said to my guides, hey ho, I've shown up for ye. I am doing this. I've followed all and I'm very grateful at this opportunity. Please call it, bring in that 5k. And the next morning at 9 a.m., we got a call from a friend of Pierre saying he was away and that he would wire transfer the 5 grand over. And that house literally has really set us up on so many levels. We raised, we gave birth to 3 children there. I started my business started taking off there. We set up a holistic center. We helped a lot of people in that house. And this to me is to prove, and this is just one example, but this is just to show you that if you want something badly enough, if you really, really say that you want something, the divine will ask you to show up for it, get out of your own way, and do the uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable to ask for money. However, it was a great learning because we really realized how much support and what generous, loving friends and family we had that really helped us to have that house and make it real. So this is the first part that I really want to show you, that actually, and this is about anything, if you want something in your life, if you desire something, it's already there on an energetic level. Otherwise, you would not be able to desire it. However, you've got to be open-minded and you've got to really allow and know that actually money, prosperity is our natural state of being. Okay? So what I want to say to you to reassure you is that if you are going to relate to any of these, you are in the right place. You are in the right place if you have been feeling drained from the constant cycle of not having enough, or having money coming in, and then as soon as it comes in, something happens and it goes out as quick. If you are ready to break free from this unpredictable highs and lows of your financial journey, this is the best investment of your time here with me today. And if you know also, if you had money, you would do it with that. So it's like, that's the other aspect, is that the divine now are saying to me in my ears, hey, you need to share this because we want the money, we want the abundance, we want that prosperity, that financial prosperity in the hands of conscious people like you, because you will do good when you have that money, more of it. And it's like, that's the other thing. It's like, there's more where that came from. There's more where that came from, because the conditioning that has been out there in the 3D world is that there is never enough, or that we're taking from other people. And this is not true. And I'll explain a little bit about the history of where that came from, the ancient history of where that came from. So here is what I'm going to cover, and that my aim is that what you learn about, if you and I are hanging out here today, I'm going to share about the sacred alignment with spiritual truths about money. I'm also going to share alchemical strategies that you might actually put aside because you think, but I know this, or I've heard of this before, but actually, are you using these alchemical strategies that are so simple? Because sometimes we actually make things more complicated than they are. And my aim also is that I will transmute your money blocks. And I can't see the third one, whatever that is there. So can you see the fourth point there?
Teach divine feminine wisdom.
Great, because I can see the pictures here. I'm not sure how to move them. So anyway, that is my promise with you here today. Now, this masterclass is not for you if you'd rather be right than prosperous. So it's like, okay, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Do you want to be right or do you want to be prosperous? Because what you were right about up to now, actually what I'm seeing since the solstice, things have completely changed. Right? So what was working before will not work now, because it's like we have moved into a completely different template. Also, if you don't believe that there's an easier way, then you won't receive the easier way. And if you're not willing to make changes, and also there might be a couple of triggers, and this is a great sign. If there's anything here that's saying that could trigger you, then this is a sign as well that it's like, you know what, our triggers are really our invitations to pass through the block that's actually been holding you from what is yours by divine right, and that is to thrive. So I'm going to also give you a nice reward for staying for the full class. I'm going to arrange to have you sent a meditation which is going to align you to the vibration of 10K months consistently. So Lisa, if you can take note of the people here, then we can make sure that that's sent out to you separately. And so I also wanted to share a bit more about me, about, you know, the journey. I think my journey of what took me here, so that you can really have an understanding as well that I think in this spiritual journey, every single person is going through different phases. So just because you start with A doesn't mean that you will continue to be teaching and working in that field for the rest of your life. That our journey is about the evolution of what the divine is giving us to fulfill our life purpose. And our life purpose is literally around you discovering, what is my purpose? What am I here to do? And then it's developing into you being on a mission. And then this develops into you being on a calling. So wherever you are in your journey, it's going to evolve. And so my journey actually started off with, you know, color therapy, like with energy, with working with color, the language of your soul, understanding the power of color as a spiritual tool, as, you know, the psychology of color, the spiritual aspect of color, the soul of color, the deep meanings of color that was so powerful that it was, you know, they tried to burn the manuscripts back in 500 BC. And the more that I worked with color, and the more I worked with energy, and the more I showed up, actually what happened was that into me being channeled, an inner wealth activation that really was about 7 steps to you having more money in your life. And from there, as I started working with that and working with the energy and helping mainly women and a few conscious men to really, really heal the paradox of money. Because if you look at, especially for women, we don't necessarily have the experience that the males have out there because we weren't allowed. Like if you think back about 60, maybe actually less, probably 55 years ago, some women could not have their own bank account without the permission of a male figure. And so this hasn't been a long time ago. And this is why the money piece is really, really important to get. And from that place, I then got a visitation from Goddess Isis about 6 years ago or 7 years ago. And when she came to me, I didn't even know. I got the word Isis. I didn't know anything about Goddess Isis. But she came and she said, "You are the voice of the ancient divine feminine." And when I went looking her up, saying, "Who is this Isis?" Goddess Isis is the divine feminine goddess, and she is here to really have women claim their divine right to thrive and to use these incredible gifts and power that is inside of you. It's not outside of you, it's inside of you. And if you think about Goddess Isis, the power she has, the warrior energy, we here are change makers, we are leaders. And so actually, we're not here to follow, we're here to lead. And from this, it has led me to create an incredible movement, a journey, which is called Divinely Prosper. And Divinely Prosper is the place. It's like you get an aircraft, metaphorically, you leave behind life as you know it, you leave behind the lack, the limitation, and you fly into a whole other reality where we are supporting each other, creating a heaven on earth, doing the inner work, clearing those blocks, and really working with the field of consciousness, shifting timelines, clearing ancestral lineages. And why this is important, it's because when we do that for us, we are doing it for everybody else. So it's a win-win. And Divinely Prosper has been something that when I got the name and when I created this 4 years ago, in fact, we're coming into our 4th anniversary, I really couldn't have imagined how incredible it feels. Like this community, this reality, this journey has been the world that I've always wanted to live in, where we really are supporting from each other, buying from each other, making money, looking after each other. It's a non-judgmental place. And so it's like, this journey seems to be ongoing because I'm like, more people have got to know that actually there is another way to thriving, actually, to stop living and to start thriving. So let me share some principles that I have felt that have been really important, because I've been really tuning in to see how can I share some principles that will really help you, because I am now becoming obsessed with sharing this truth about money and your divine right to thrive. It's your natural state of being. So if there is any aspect of lack, then it just means you're out of alignment with your divine truth and out of alignment with this divine connection that is inside of you and it's not outside of you. So, are you all with me so far? Is it making sense? Does it resonate? Great. Okay, wonderful. So, what has the benefit been from supporting women to divinely prosper? I've experienced and witnessed and seen women become authors when they joined Divinely Prosper. They didn't even know there was a book inside of them. I have seen women and supported women to triple their income in a very short period. And one of the biggest things actually is this newfound confidence. And this newfound confidence has meant that they're actually doing things that they either would never have done before, or they're doing things now that before they didn't have the courage to do because there was, telling themselves why they couldn't do it. And actually, all you need is one reason why to do something. Plus, when you are with a certain, we'll say, frequency of woman, a certain consciousness, a woman that is conscious in that fifth dimension and above, then actually you start, you're no longer doing it alone, actually. I think that's one of the biggest things. It's like you feel that you can conquer anything. And so this has really been the biggest benefits of living from this divine truth and the powerhouse of the energy of prosperity that you have got to choose. It doesn't choose you, you have to choose it. So I just want to remind you about a couple of things. And as I'm saying these words, I want you to feel them land into your energy and into your body and observe how you're feeling. This is an anchor that I use all of the time. So no matter what is going on, if things are not going according to my plan, or if I'm in a phase of overwhelm, I always say this mantra, and it's like a kite. It lifts you up into this divine truth. It's the divine always has your highest good in mind. So if something is going on in your life that you wouldn't necessarily choose, and you say this invocation, you will be shown the gift in whatever you're experiencing. Because what it's about is it's about divine connection. It's about being intuitively led. And intuitively led is not always the easy option per se. It's the being intuitively led will not let you stay in your comfort zone. Intuitively led will get you out of your own way, will have you doing the uncomfortable, will have you stop avoiding the very thing that you really deep down would want to do, but you're afraid. So this is what it means to be intuitively led. And then what's really important is it's taking the aligned action. Now, what I want to say about this is this part is essential when it comes to divine prosperity. Because, and to be honest, it doesn't matter about what action. This is what I've seen. It matters about action, because what's happening is when you take one action, it's a signal to the universe to say, now she's ready. Now we can deliver her in the divine plan that we have for her, because she's taken the action. And quite often that one action that you take, you get the results as if you had taken 10 actions. And this is something that we've got to detach from the outcome per se. You've got to take the action and be open to what the divine has in store for you. And to also understand that thriving is your natural state of being. So we're going to just tune in for a moment with the word living. And I'd like you to, because this has been the conditioning about living, I'd like you to tune in with the word living at life, or living with life. What is the color that you're getting in terms of that word, and the feeling in your body or your energy about that word? And where is it in your body or your energy? And we're just going to say thank you for sharing, taking a breath and just rubbing your hands like this. And I'd like you now, we're going to tune in. Can we be given the energy of the word thriving? And I want you to connect with that energy, that color, and the feeling that you have in your body and in your energy around thriving. And I'd like to know in the comments, I'd be grateful if you could just share what your experience was, because you know, you're a wise woman. I'm not going to be telling you what to do. I'm here to facilitate and open up something that you already knew, but maybe you just up to now hadn't given yourself the time to reflect on it. So, so the first one, living. So it is green heart, green back, solar plexus, yellow lightness, liver area. So just let me know first about the living. What was the frequency and the feeling and the energy of you living? Okay, so we've got turquoise throat. So that is the link of the physical into the spiritual. That is speaking your truth, living from your heart, okay? The blue sea. So we've got blue. It's interesting in just the colors. Right, pink, green in the solar plexus. So let me tune in with that for a minute. That's love. Like the pink and the green are colors of love, balance. Living a rich gold flowing throughout body and flow. Beautiful. Living third eye, dark blue. Living apprehension. Very interesting. Living blue, ease, flow in the head. Okay. So it's so interesting that generally that color is about blue, right? So that is, for me, when I tune in with that, it's like it's existing. It's like you have the connection, but you're at the bridge, right? So now let's look into thriving. What did you get for for thriving? Okay, so great. So thriving is magenta pink. So magenta as a color is, I mean, that is the balance of the divine, the spiritual, and the physical, right? It's about harmony, balance. It's entrepreneurship. Green is abundance, money, financial flow, but also ventures, you know, flourish. So going around my body and feeling of excitement. So thriving, yellow. So yellow is power, being in your power, okay? Excitement, heart. Yeah, so that's your soul. Fireworks in every cell of my body. Beautiful, golden sparks. Thriving, solar plexus, green. So I've already mentioned what would be thriving. Blocked, restricted sensation in stomach area. Right. Thanks so much for sharing that. No color. So actually, the thriving energy where you have this block and this restriction, this sensation, and my intention is we're going to shift that tonight. This is kind of a pattern of, in some respects, kind of losing control. So like, you know, that it's like better the devil you know than the devil you don't know. So in this, and we haven't also been taught or encouraged to thrive because it might draw attention. You know, you've been conditioned as well to fit in. So thriving actually takes a bit of courage, okay? So let's see, Wendy, I'm going to note down, let's see, Wendy, where you are after this. And we're just going to, this is an acknowledgement, we're going to meet you where you are. And we're going to open up, I'm going to ask and invite the energy of thriving just to tickle your feet and see if you can your vibration can align to the possibility of thriving. So yellow is empowerment. Now yellow also, the shadow side is fear. Thriving, red, sacral, womb, excited. So yellow got the words hope and believe you can. Yes, amazing. Birthing, no color. Okay. Thriving, birthing, no color. So that no color also can be infinite potentiality, right? So, you know, the no color is that it's transparent energy, okay? Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that, because it's really good to kind of get a sense. And we can see where we are in the thriving energy as we finish the class, okay? Now, I'm going to talk about 7 principles to become a prosperity powerhouse. Now, I'm actually getting here to say you already are a prosperity powerhouse because it's your natural state of being. Your template for being a prosperity powerhouse is already here. However, it's like a chamber. It's like codes. What happens is that it's there for you, but if you don't apply and use these 7 principles, you don't fully access all that's possible. Okay, so, and this will be something we'll look into, so you can have an understanding about what the importance of these principles. So the first one is about understanding the source. So the conditioning has been that if you want more money, that it's outside of you, that you've got to go, you know, put yourself, I hate that, put yourself out there. Work hard for your money, do like efforting to, you know, that it's in a job, it's in having more clients, it's outside of you, and that is not true. The truth of the matter is that source, and we actually are given these, we're actually being told things on a very subtle level. We say income. That's a sign saying that it's inside, it's incoming, and it's the source of income, which is really your divine, if you want more money in your life, then it's about really connecting in with your divine connection. It's your divine connection and knowing the divine truth that money and abundance lies within divine source, right? And actually, Emerson, who said this, right, said that man was born to be rich or grow rich by the use of his faculties, by the union thought with nature. And what is nature? Nature is connected with Mother Earth, with the divine source. And so we knew this as humans way, way back, thousands of years. But what happened was that there was a Bishop Lyons who in 130 AD decided that actually, hold on a minute, people, he brought in other concepts saying actually the money and abundance and whatever you desire is actually in the hands, you've got, you know, of a higher power in the human. It's outside of you. So it's in, you know, the clergy, it's in higher authorities. And actually this slowly but surely erased this divine truth that our ancients knew, that actually the divine, like your source of income, your pathway to having more money is coming inside. It's actually your divine connection and trusting, in fact, more than trusting, having that faith 100% that the divine, like your divine right, is to thrive, that the abundance is there for you. And for you to have this abundance, you are being called to use your gifts and share your work on a wider scale. Does this make sense? What are you getting when I say this? That this is not outside of us, it's inside of us. Okay, great. Now, the next part is your wealth consciousness. Your wealth consciousness is actually about your beliefs, what you believe about money. Okay? And I'll check that in a few moments so you can see and understand, because actually the unconscious messages that we would have received about what it means in terms of being wealthy and even having a high wealth consciousness, in a lot of cases it's been criticized, judged, put aside, and you're told that actually that's not for you. That doesn't happen to the likes of you and me, right? That it's actually luck, which is not true. The other important essential part is about receiving. Just hold on a minute, because I see that they're making noise. 1 minute. And I'll tell them to be quiet. Guys, can you be quiet there, because we can hear all the noise that you have, okay? So the receiving aspect is so important, and it's what I find actually is that it's really that women were not comfortable in receiving unconditionally. Because in the psyche of the female consciousness, the memories are that if we wanted something, we had to give something. And in some cases, the woman didn't want to give. So she never received per se. It was like she had to give, but there wasn't actually the encouragement of receiving. That she was always, and you can see actually, some role models, and I could even see like in, my own upbringing, that my mother actually never gave to herself because it was conditioned to be selfish. So she gave to everybody else, and if there was enough available at the end, then she may give to herself. So these are the role models. If you think about the role models we would have seen in our parents, in our grandparents, then this affects the receiving abilities. This is extreme, and this came in when I received the download of the Inner Wealth Activator. Worthiness, and I'm going to say worthiness and confidence because they go hand in hand, are extremely important. What your level of worthiness is influencing the amount of flow of income that you are having in your life. This then is the alignment to the ancient ways, and the alignment to the ancient ways is literally strengthening your divine connection and trusting you as a woman that actually you are the creator. They knew this in ancient times. It was the female, this divine feminine energy was the creator. But the conditioning has been that it was the male figure was the one, like even actually in Emerson's quote, it was mentioned the man. There was no mention of the woman. And if you think about the word woman, it's woman. So we are both. We have in tremendous inner strength and power to harness, but we've got to tap into it. And this comes on to the taking the action. If you're not taking the action, then you're stopping the flow of prosperity in your life. Okay? And the taking the action, in a lot of cases, can be the uncomfortable. So me taking the action tonight of actually, for the first time, because a lot of you here have, some of you are in Divinely Prospered, some of you have been following me for a while. I usually don't have a presentation like this, but the guidance I got was do a presentation. So I took the action, but it was so uncomfortable. But I'm doing it anyway. And so my intention is that this is giving you, that you can see that as I'm saying these words, that you're seeing these words written and that it's going in on a deeper level on the psyche. So I'm talking the walk as well. And so the final one is, what was the third one there? The final one, Lisa?
Surrender.
Surrender. Oh my God. Surrender is the final piece, and probably one of the most challenging aspect to do, I think. I'd say it's where I spend a lot of my work, helping women surrender. So surrendering means that you are walking in full faith, being in the unknown, but really sensing inside of you to do something, but you don't really know. You don't have all the steps. You just have maybe one step, but you don't have all the steps. You've got to surrender to this higher power. And one of my own personal examples with this surrender is that different events happened in my life just over a year ago, or a year and a half ago. And the calling was to move to France from Ireland. And I did not want to leave Ireland because in my head, I wanted to live in France. I've loved France. It's definitely my soul country. But I was telling myself, yes, but I'll do it when my kids are older. When, then we'll move to France. But actually, it felt like all these different things started. It wasn't in my hands. And I found myself saying yes, moving to France, and really not knowing until I got on the plane with my 3 children, because my husband had gone ahead of us to get a car because we had no car. And it was only when I was on that plane that I got the confirmation that actually this was, it all made sense. And so the surrender piece is something that as a human, we actually fight against because we want to know. And what if? And this is where we've got to, that line, the divine always has my highest good in mind. And living by that mantra. So I'm just going to touch, and we'll say the first, go a little bit deeper into the first 3 or 4 aspects of these principles, because I feel they're the foundations of you really allowing that money that, by the way, is there for you unclaimed, because actually we've inherited this abundance and prosperity. It's inherited. It's a given. So this is something that's really important for you to take on board here tonight, is that there's these certain principles of abundance, and the divine fundamental truth is realized when you free yourself from lack and limitation. So I want you to tune in there for a moment when when you read these words about lack and limitation. So where are you in communion with the vibration and the energy of lack and limitation? What are you telling yourself? What are you experiencing? Where is your bank balance? Where are you in terms of making that impact and sharing your work far and wide? How confident are you? Are you doing the things that you really, really want to do? Have you got excuses? These are all signs of lack and limitation that have got to be erased. So what do you want to share what you're getting there? What's your take on this? Because I want to hear from you as well. What have you got to share? Or have you any questions at this point, actually? It's greedy to have too much. Have to be careful on spending because I did not earn it all. Yes. So that is the conditioning about. So, in fact, for you, because you're such a loving, generous heart, when you will have more money and more abundance, you are going to treat people, you're going to help people, you're going to create things, you are going to do good with this money. And the strong guidance that's coming in fast and fearless is that actually they want the money in the hands of conscious people. It's almost like the divine, like there's more where that came from. Like the illusion, because money is an energy. So money, because it's an energy, it can never be destroyed. It can only be transformed. So the lack of money doesn't exist because what money will ask of you is it'll ask more of you. It'll ask you to get out of your own way. It'll ask you to do the uncomfortable. It will ask you to stop putting things off because actually you no longer need to be, going after the money when you're already in lack, because that's a conflict. It's like, wouldn't it be nice? What if you had all the money in the world? What would that mean for you and the rest of the world? So, right, on one level, I hold the belief of prosperity. My lack of action shows within my balance. There you go. Exactly. So, this is the either or. That's the other thing too. You're either in the game or you're out of the game. You can't be in both. So actually, you've got to choose. So it's like, and actually, do you know what it means? It first of all means choosing you. I love myself. I honor myself. I respect myself. And when you choose you, then that means you will do what you're feeling inside that you've been putting off. So it's not safe to go big. If I've more, I have to give more. Keeping for myself is selfish. Right. So that's the other thing that's really important as well, is that when you start becoming more conscious with money, then you actually have to be also conscious about what you do with that money and who you give that money to. Because if you're giving money to somebody who actually doesn't care about the world, doesn't care about the effects of choices they make, then actually that's not what you want, right? So you want to become more conscious. So actually you start to have choice about who you're going to give money to. And then the other point about being selfish is that's not true, because in divine law, in the universal law of abundance, it clearly says that actually you have got to have the abundance first. And in you having the abundance, then you, if every one of ye here tonight gave yourself permission to be fully abundant, then actually it would increase the frequency of consciousness, and then it would open up the waves and doors for other people, because it's a win-win. So just realize that I'm lacking confidence and I'm afraid to carry out an idea I've been called to do. There you go. Right, so let me just move on here. So I'm really appreciative of your shares. I should have more money because I'll waste it. Shouldn't have more money because I'll waste it or spend it. So you won't waste it or spend it because you're a wise woman, and you'll be conscious about what you'll do with that money, right? So it's really about being conscious. So I believe I have the talent and right to be wealthy and abundant, but have been chasing it for decades without success, and it's made me feel bad and disappointed with myself. Right. So the thing about it is that it's like money is like a butterfly. If you chase that butterfly will fly away. If you stay still and you believe that money is already here and within you, then the money will come in. Right? So we've got to stop chasing. We've got to start allowing. Now, actually, we've already got, you're so ahead of the game, girls. You're so ahead of the game that actually this part, which we've kind of led in, it's about your wealth consciousness. And so it's this: do you have an aversion to wealth? What stories do you tell about rich people? How comfortable would you be if you were much wealthier than your family and friends? And the thing is, these things that we just talked about, and what I've put on here on this slide, that it's this, the slightest reservation, which are all these things we talked about, then it means that it's blocking the flow of income, money, prosperity, even opportunities. Because by the way, you don't give a monkey's how this money comes in, right? So I've had people who have taken an action in something, and actually the money came in a completely different way. And so we've got to, I say, the how, it's God's business. That's none of your business. So it kind of, in some respects, takes the pressure off you. So take the pressure off you about making money, and start coming from the place that money is already here. It's inherited, that we have an abundant inheritance as a soul, as an energy. Now, the other part about the money piece is the receiving. So I talked about the belief, so you have a bit of an idea there about the belief situation. The other key part here is about receiving. So when I say to you, we're going to tune into your receiving receptors. On a scale of 0 to 10, how open are you to receiving all of the money that you desire, all of the successes maybe that you feel inside you are totally possible, but somehow they just haven't come in yet? How, on a scale, 10 being yes, I'm fully open to receiving, where are you on a scale of 0 to 10? So let's see where you are. Great, so 9 is brilliant. So anything less than 7 is stopping you, right? So we've got 8, 9, and 10. Ideally, so the 8, 9, and 10, we want you at a 10. It needs to be integrated at a 10. So that's really amazing, because the 8s and 9s, you have it, but you don't have the consistency, right? Anything below 7, then actually it's like the image I'm being shown here is like you've put a dam. You've put something up and you'll only let so much in. So 4 is the lower. Yeah, I thought, because I've been working on being able to receive. Yeah, so 4 is you really are stopping yourself from receiving. So actually what this is saying is that the money is there, but you aren't opening up the door to receive the money that's already there in your field. Right? So this is like, I can say to you, and the universe is saying to you, you know, like the postman. The postman has delivered you your parcel that you have asked for, but you have not opened up the door, and you're on the phone to the post office saying, my parcel has not arrived. But you haven't opened up the door. Right? Now that you know that, you can do something about it. So, the other part that is really important, once you've get the receiving, you're thinking, okay, you know what, I'm going to play with this, and I'm actually going to allow myself to receive unconditionally, and just see and play also your automatic, because we have a lot of automatic responses that we're not aware of, and this is where it requires you to be conscious as well. So maybe your conscious rejection of receiving, it's like if someone offers you a coffee, or if someone offers to take your bag, then you say yes, because that's part of receiving. Now, the other part of the worthiness that I talked about earlier, this is really linked to your vibration. Your vibration is your currency, and it's influenced by your self-worth. How worthy do you feel? So if you just cross your hands over your heart here, and I want you to check in with your self-worth, in you being the person that has the overflow of money in your life. That you feel prosperous. You feel prosperous in love, you feel prosperous in relationships, you feel prosperous in your energy, in your health and well-being, you feel prosperous in your business. What would it mean to you if you were a 10 in self-worth? How would you feel? What would you be doing? What is required of you to really allow yourself to feel the worth of your presence? Because this is what this is about as well. It's like, it's your frequency. It's like, show me your bank account and I'll tell you your frequency. And it's the combination, like a combination lock, working on the receiving bit, working on the worthiness, and it's seeing the fluctuation, because what's really great is nothing is stagnant. It's fluctuating. So one feeds the other, and it's actually, that's why I say when you take one step, when you do one thing, it actually helps all the other aspects. So coming back here to these principles, the understanding the source, which is, it's you. You are the source. You are divine. And it's all got to do with your divine connection and owning and knowing the fact deep within that inner knowing that actually your abundance is already given. But you have to have 150% faith. And also in terms of the receiving, it's like we've been told, ask and you will receive. Knock and the door shall be opened unto you. We've already been told that. Are you asking for help Are you asking for support? Are you asking for guidance? Are you even asking and surrounded by other conscious women so that they can give their perspective and support you in actually not doing this alone, doing this together? This is the alignment to the ancient way, because we have been conditioned in society actually more and more. I'd say over the last probably 20 years, this has got worse, this programming. And it's about, you've got to do it alone. If you don't do it, nobody else will do it. I've got to do it myself. I can do it myself. You're well able to do it yourself. Actually, yes, you're well able, but I don't believe, if I look at the successes for myself and from the people in Divinely Prosper, one of the biggest reasons that these women are thriving is because they allowed the group support. They used the power hours that we have. They used the live calls where we're all coming together, holding the space for a woman, receiving and borrowing the benefits. They came in and said, I'm going through a rough patch. Can you please send me energy, or can someone help me? So it's like, actually what we need to come into is to actually the community, the group support. Because with the group support, when one rises, another rises, but also it's like, actually there'll be someone in the community that you'll say that actually I can help with that. So you don't have to spend 5 hours trying to I don't know, to do a presentation or to fill, or to do something. You've got someone who's actually saying, listen, I can hop on a call with you and I can talk you through it. Or what we're doing in DP, to say, you haven't offered something before, try it out on us. And that has actually been a game changer, because in the ancient wisdom, women came together in groups, men came together in groups. And if you start to see how things now are shifting, more and more you're hearing about circles. You most likely too are being guided to say, actually, I want to open up a circle. I want to do some group work. I want to do a program where I have a group of people that I can support. Because this is why. Because when one rises, another rises. Yes, it's great to have the individual one-to-one coaching and support, but I actually feel having that and the group space, then actually you will see, you're inspired by each other, and you will see that you'll make much more progress when you avail of the group energy and the group frequency. Because when I got guided to set up Divinely Prosper, the key thing that I was shown was, actually you go and you bring women together. You create a space for these women who are meant, who have been contracted at soul level to create things in the world, and who need their own cup, who need this safe space to land, who need my loving kick-assing to support these women to do the bigger work, to break the rules that society have set in place to keep everyone limited. And then it's to take the action. Taking action is essential. Any action. Right? Now, it has to be aligned action, right? So it's like, an aligned action is usually uncomfortable action. And in the surrender, it's like, how good can you let your life get? To say, I have an intention, I have a vision of what I would love to happen, this or something better. And then you surrender that up into the divine and you have nothing on it. You have nothing on it. And you don't care if you've put out an offer and you have one person, 10 people, 50 people, because it's one heart at a time. It doesn't matter. You show up for whoever is showing up for themselves. Because what we're doing here is we're facilitating change. We're facilitating a new way on one level, but it's the ancient way. They did this thousands of years ago. And we are bringing this back because this will change the world. This heaven on earth reality is a template, but it requires the increase of the frequency and understanding these principles that you have got the power, that your inheritance is abundance, and it never was lack. You were programmed, you were told that to keep you small, to keep you controlled. And now we've got to break free. So it's your choosing. You have got to choose it. So what has led you to this masterclass? Put that in the comments just to see, to make sure that that you have received what you've wanted. Maybe you were frustrated that you've never had any money. Maybe you feel I'm a good person, I'm doing all the right things, but where's my abundance? Or maybe you've heard about the buzz around people who are already in divinely prosper and you're curious to see what is this divine prosperous stuff? What is this about being a powerhouse? Because we're saying this all the time in DP to say, oh my God, you're a powerhouse. Our minds are being blown. Because the mind, the limited mind, will not get this. It's been trained to protect you, to keep you safe. This is why we are working in the divine mind. So let's see here. Just let me look at the comments. Yes, tired of feeling of lack and worry, continuing my journey of raising my vibration. Yeah. I feel more worthy and abundant. Timing is good for this masterclass. Brilliant. So that's the thing. We need reminders. This is why in Divinely Prosper, I come in every Monday for a channeled session in the group to say, right, just in case you've been mingling in the 3D or, again, a lot of people that are, in DP would be, let's say the black sheep or the white sheep in their family, misunderstood. The collective are saying oh yeah, but she's airy fairy, and yeah, it's all very fine, but look outside, and all hearing about lack, high bills, all of that. This does affect you. But actually, my job is to say, no, that is not true. Get back into divinely prospering, get back into 8th dimensional reality. That is not true. And when you're operating from that frequency, which is like a program, it's like a computer program, it's like a channel, then actually, and you let yourself receive this guidance and you take action from that place, then it builds momentum. It becomes your new norm. Lisa and I have talked about that actually recently. We were like, oh my God, we must talk about the shifts in divinely prosper, because actually, we think that this is normal until we talk to other people and they're like, oh yeah, but what about this? And we're like, no, we don't have problems. We only have opportunities. And when you start seeing things from that place, then solutions actually start coming in. And the solutions sometimes can be within the community of the people who are open to this way of thriving, who are saying goodbye to living and are actually choosing thriving. So I had money and now I don't. I'm here today to see what you know, and I've gotten some ideas. It's all frequency, is it? So yeah, it's all frequency. It's also about taking the action, and it's really about knowing who you are on a soul level, right? It's like, who am I? You are infinite. You are powerful. You are beautiful. You are love. You are worthy. You are gifted. And you are being called to really embrace these principles and this new way of being and doing. But you have got to choose it. And the first thing, I think, is actually choosing yourself. To say, I am the woman. So, can you hear the calling? Can you hear the calling to step up? Can you hear the calling to co-create? Can you hear the calling to actually give yourself the gift of this space? To give yourself the gift of the money that is yours by divine right, that nobody can claim, only you. It becomes unclaimed in the field. But nobody can choose it on your behalf. You have got to choose it. So if you want to explore further this divinely prospered journey, then there is an opportunity for you to join us. And some of these women are on this call tonight to really together transform your business, your life, your reality. And you will find that it starts with you. It starts with you letting go of life as you know it, letting go of the ideas that you thought to be true, and removing these programs, these limits, these conditions, and stepping in to the powerhouse that you are. And also allowing me to support you. We've got Lisa on this call, who really is the divine masculine. On our power hours, it's like anything to do with tech, with practical, with help with getting organized, with changing habits. We're on that call every Tuesday, and we are supporting you in getting things done, whether that's getting things done in a nice environment where we're putting on high vibe music and you're with me, or actually physically taking the action with the help of Lisa. And that one thing alone is shifting people in so many different levels. They're doing things that they told themselves they couldn't do. But we're like, yes, you can. It's like that mantra, I can, I am, I will. So when you take action from that place, of course you can. Because the conditioning has been, but you can't do that. But you can't do that. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. So it's like we've got to stop listening to the naysayers and start tuning in to those who are saying, yes, you can do it. I am behind you. Give it a go. Supporting each other on this personal and global prosperity calling and journey. So what this is about is the consistent high frequency that you can't get in the 3D world. So it's like in Divinely Prosper, we have these success anchors, these high vibe anchors. And you go in there and you're saying, okay, I'm feeling a bit low today. I'm feeling a bit down. It's getting too hard. I want to throw in the towel. Go into that section and say, Divine Source, show me what you want me to have. What do you want to tell me? What's going to have me out of this flunk? And you will be very surprised what you're given. Because also, the other thing is being very conscious about where you're spending your time. Who are you hanging around with? Because your network is your net worth. So this is why it's becoming more and more important to choose wisely about who you are hanging around with, because you want people who will want you to do good, who will be there for you, who will encourage you, who won't be jealous of you, who will say, yes, you can do it. There's plenty for everybody. And so when you're in that frequency, when you're in that vibe, then actually, of course, it's a given. So you're no longer in the density, you're in the lightness. Yes, we're all going through ups and downs and changes, but actually we're not in them. We're using them as like stepping stones, like the trampoline to go to the next level. And you're not staying in the energy. You're moving through it. You're leaping. So there's no more steps per se, it's leaps. Why would you take steps when you can take a leap? So I want you to imagine now that feeling of being content and connected. Connected to this abundant inheritance that is yours. How are you feeling? You can't feel two things at the same time. So do you see how actually you moved into that energy just by the words that I said, by calling it in? What if you had a life without worrying about money? Because what I'm also seeing is a trend that it's become an addiction. If you put the energy that you're putting into worrying about money and you put it in to claiming your abundant inheritance and knowing that the divine always has your highest good in mind, you'd be better served. And asking for support. Because where there's a will, there's always a way. And what about you imagining that you have made that bigger impact and that you are making more income as a result? Because when you have more money in your hands, you will be able to also pay for support, to give jobs to amazing people who are passionate about doing tech, about doing the marketing, about managing your finances, about whatever it is, the things that you think, oh, you know what, I would love to give these to someone who's really good, that makes their day. And then you just get to do your magic. Not only that, you're becoming a role model for other people, for your family, for your kids. I can see my kids, mine are 9, 11 and nearly 13, and they've all got the lingo. They're like, Mammy, divinely prospering. Killian said to me, he's like, Mammy, I know I'm going to be wealthy. He said, I have the vision of me being wealthy. And Cedric said to him, how do you know? He said, I just know. And I'm going to do good with that money. So I'm like, oh my God, can you imagine everyone having that truth. And the other thing to think about as well is that it takes a village to raise children. It takes a village to change the world. And this is why we have this concept in Divinely Prosper about it being an island, because actually we are doing our bit, looking after each other, living by these principles. And as a result, it's a given that there's more income, there's more support, more love, more opportunities, more courage, and lives are changing. Because when you change your life, it's a given that other people's lives change too. So instead of knowing the principles of prosperity, it's really about living by these principles. So you live by the principles, and that will have you thrive. So if you want to join Divinely Prosper, here's a little summary of what you receive inside the community. So you have Lisa and I, who are there always for you, day and night. Day and night. So I need my phone. It's 5 seconds. Yeah, you do it here then. What? Yeah, you have to do it here. So then what you have here, this is just a snapshot of what you receive inside the portal. There's so many things inside that portal that it's like if you've any ailment, any issue of any description, you go into that portal and you will find it. There are spells, high vibe anchors, there are live calls, coaching calls with me. There are Q&A round table calls. There's a section on money. It's the wealth vault, all to do, loads of information in there, and healings and activations on money. There's also the practical aspects of money. And over the next 3 months, we are all over the money. The guidance that I've been getting is that over the next 3 months, we are focusing on every aspect of money that you actually will feel you cannot escape, but actually have the money. Because that's the focus. And you have the community of women that I have to say, it sometimes brings me to tears because I'm like, oh my God, these are the women that I have always wished for to share my life with, because these women are supporting each other. We even have had women, one woman who's on this call, who I won't name her, but who was in Australia, got the guidance to leave. And one of the women in DP said, I will take you and your son into my home. And they looked after her until she got on her feet and she found a place and she got thriving in her own way. This is the kind of thing that we do for each other. There has been women that have travelled all around Ireland to support other women giving workshops. We also buy from each other, so we're creating our own economy. So we don't care about what's happening out there in the world because we're buying from each other. And so this really has been the game changer. So if you want that, here is the investment. So the investment is €2,000 plus 23% VAT. If you have a VAT number, then that's taken off automatically. Or there's a payment plan of 12 payments of €185. And this, the proof in the pudding is that we have about 30% of the women in DP are going into their 4th year of being on this journey. So this shows that actually it's a lifestyle, it's a way of living, and it's such a great, there's so many benefits that it's actually hard to leave that safety and that love and that care and that attention. And so I'm having started it 4 years ago, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so proud about what we've created here for anyone who's ready to really let the flow of abundance, money, support, intuition to be always in their lives. So here's a testimonial from Orla, who's been in from the beginning. And she has said, I was experiencing an unexpectedly painful life challenge and unable to see a way out of the pain. Once I immersed myself in the island of Divinely Prosper, I was fully supported and held by this loving, close-knit family to see new possibilities and heal deep wounds. I now live my dream life, working half the time, living life on my terms. And we say that she is a powerhouse. We've had Alexandra, who only joined in, was it in February, March? And she's saying, I joined DP to feel connected and supported in my desire of working internationally. I was looking for a place to find an energetic spiritual connection alongside business, money, coaching. In only 1 month, I've more energy, clarity, inspiration, and I just love the connection of the group. And this is now the things that she's offering on top of her work, amazing work, is incredible channeled paintings, which is my high priestess that I'm currently connecting with. Just incredible, absolutely incredible. And we have Liz, who also I've seen has on this call, and my God, what a transformation since Liz joined. And Liz joined, and I could not continue my life the way it was, but did not know how to move forward. I cannot believe how much healing I've received in such a short space of time. Marcy is an incredible capacity to hold what your vision and purpose are, even when it's hard to see for yourself. The community is one of the most supportive I've ever encountered. I now know my life mission. So this is just a tip of the iceberg of what's possible. So all you need to do is to go to glowyourtruecolors.com. If you'll see Divinely Prosper, you'll click on that, and this will take you to the page to find out more and get your. So has anybody got any questions about what I've covered here? I'm just going to stop sharing there for a minute, and I'm just going to pull a card from the Goddess Isis deck, because it's Goddess Isis that is the keeper of this container. What is your takeaways from going through this? So Goddess Isis, what do you want these incredible women to know about what we've covered here tonight? So the card is Ancient Power Mysteries. Hear the rattle of Isis playing. So let's see what this is. You're welcome, Burr. You're welcome, Leonora. Yeah, keep surrendering. So true. It's the only way. So listen to this. The rattle of Isis, the sistrum is playing in the hand of Goddess now. Can you sense it with your inner hearing? Its vibration reaches you through your crown chakra and enters your body, initiating you into great ancient power mysteries of sound, creativity, and healing. This is a time when words and music will become increasingly important on your spiritual path and healing journey. When the Lady Isis initiates a beloved into her ancient mysteries, life can become quite interesting. An initiate of Isis does not just learn new ideas as a student, but is thrown into the experience of the mysteries in real day-to-day living so that they may be truly mastered in our lives and then utilized in service to help the lives of others too. So that one day all beings will be healed and whole according to the will of the divine feminine. So we're going to say the ritual incantation as we close this session. You're welcome, Vanessa. So increasing your self-worth and surrendering more. Yeah, definitely. So let's do this. Putting your hands in the prayer position, allowing all of the words that I've shared here, all of the wisdom that I've shared here, all of the principles, and the invitation and calling that's going out to you to join the Divinely Prosper movement to change the world. And those of us in Divinely Prosper, that we continue showing up and being available for our good. Thrum, thrum. Say this, repeat after me. Sistrum of Isis, Sistrum of Isis. My energy clear. I am love beyond fear. Light within, light without. I am peace beyond all doubt. Thrum, thrum, Sistrum of Isis, Sistrum of Isis. Your light shines through my voice. Your sound heals through my voice. Thrum, thrum, Sistrum of Isis, Sistrum of Isis. Moving your hands up above your head, connecting in with that pure divine light, energy, consciousness. Bringing it down into your third eye, your throat, your heart. Moving your hands down over your solar plexus, activating your solar plexus, your sacral, your base chakra, and just rubbing down your knees and legs and anchoring down into your Earth Star. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for staying till the end. And the other thing I wanted to say as well is that if you decide to join Divinely Prosper and you sign up with us on this journey in the next 48 hours, then you will get an exclusive group VIP session with me. You're welcome in. All right, my darlings, take care. It's been a pleasure. And I look forward to connecting with you soon and seeing and hearing how your life has shifted since this masterclass. Mwah. Bye. Take care.